I'm Judy Woodruff. We'll have more from Sonia in just a moment, but we do want to bring you this update from Washington's National Airport, where the U.S. airplane carrying the body of former First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis has landed. Members of the Kennedy family, the children of Mrs. Onassis, have been coming down from that plane. The body of Mrs. Onassis will be removed, if it has not been already, and put into a car, a hearse, and it will shortly travel from National Airport, which is located just across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C., to Arlington National Cemetery. Just a few minutes of a journey, but it will be the final journey to the final resting place for the former First Lady. This is the airplane that carried her and members of the Kennedy family. John Holloman, CNN's John Holloman, is standing outside the main gate at Arlington National Cemetery. John, can you describe the scene there?
I'm glad you look at the scene here. The crowd is growing. It's been growing since about 9 o'clock this morning, and there's a fairly large crowd, several hundred people, I would say maybe 1,000, waiting to watch the motorcade, the funeral procession, as it drives by. We're not exactly sure how long it's going to take for that to happen, but we've been led to believe it could happen in the next 10 to 20 minutes. And security here has been tightened in the past few minutes in anticipation of the visit to this final resting place of Mrs. Onassis by President Bill Clinton. Secret Service agents have been here. Secret Service K-9 bomb-sniffing dogs have been around looking through all of our equipment and checking out some of the people who are lining this route to make sure that everything is in readiness for the presidential visit here. We're told that when this graveside ceremony begins, sometime probably after 2 o'clock Eastern Time, President Clinton will speak for 4 or 5 minutes. John Kennedy Jr. will talk for several minutes. Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg will read scripture. The whole ceremony could take between 20 and 30 minutes. Then the Clintons and the Kennedys will go to Hickory Hill, the home of Ethel Kennedy, for a private reception at the end of this day.
All right, John, thank you for that. We're now looking at National Airport just outside Washington, where you can see, actually you can just see buildings at this point, but we're told that the motorcade carrying, is it President Clinton, or is this is the motorcade, I believe, yes, this is the motorcade carrying the body of Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. This motorcade will make the few miles journey. I'm here, I should say, with CNN's Bruce Morton, and Bruce, I'm going to ask you to join with me in just a minute. This is the motorcade that will make a few miles journey over to Arlington National Cemetery, where Mrs. Onassis will be laid to rest finally at the site next to where her husband, John Kennedy, and their 2 children were permanently laid to rest. Bruce Morton, you're here with me in the studio. Why is the funeral of a First Lady receiving so much attention, unlike any other First Lady in recent memory?
I think because she was unlike any other First Lady. The only comparable person I can think of is Eleanor Roosevelt. And that was different in that Mrs. Roosevelt was a politically active force. She was known to everybody, but it was because she was in the arena. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis was known to everybody really because she was a symbol of the best of America, of caring about art and caring about music, of being able to go to Paris and dazzle Charles de Gaulle, that kind of symbol.
We see the eternal flame at the site where her husband, John Kennedy, was buried in 1963. As we've been noting all morning as we commented on the funeral services in New York City, this was the grave site she selected along with Robert Kennedy, the brother of the late president, who of course was tragically killed 6 years after that. And we've been hearing the discussion earlier this morning about it really wasn't known until recently, very recently, that she would have chosen to have been buried here, but this was her family's wish.
Yes, I think that's part of the private person that she was. We didn't know that. There were a lot of things we didn't know about her, because she had this strong sense of, I'll be public on public occasions, but the rest of the time I keep to myself.
All right, as we continue to look at these scenes, in which we will be seeing over the next few minutes, the motorcade carrying the body of the late First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis making its way from the airport here in Washington to Arlington National Cemetery. Our coverage of the events surrounding the burial ceremony will continue in just a moment.